Hello, everyone. Thank you for being a part of uEmpower's Connect series. We're so glad to have you here. Today, we'll be speaking to Elise Pham, a pre-med student at Harvard, who is successfully running the Ultimate Ivy League Guide and is earning over six figures as a 19-year-old, not to mention the millions of individuals that she's reached through her projects and content creation. Elise, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently working on?
Yes, so my name's Elise. I'm currently a sophomore at Harvard College studying molecular and cellular biology. I definitely think that my story is has started from very humble means, I would say. I grew up in an immigrant household and we came from a first generation low income family, and definitely navigating the college admissions process was very difficult, especially since my dad did not have much experience with that. But through figuring out my experience and like kind of navigating college admissions myself, I wanted to share my experience and the knowledge that I learned with people all over the world. And that's currently why I started Ultimate Ivy League Guide, and I'm currently trying to expand it and provide very low cost services and knowledge to students all over the world. But other than that, of course, I'm still focusing on school, and I'm currently a full time student taking a few pre med classes.
Oh, that's very nice. Out of the many career paths out there, why did you choose the medical route?
Yeah, so my story actually is very personal, I would say. So my mother had passed away whenever I was 9 years old from cancer. And so since then, I have been very interested in biology and also just tackling the nuances that lay within cancer. So as I grew older, I continued to really immerse myself into the biology field. And so as a result of my personal family experiences, I would say that's why I want to pursue medicine and help other families kind of navigate their experience with sickness and, just medicine in general, and provide high quality care at low cost prices.
Your want to pursue medicine is definitely inspiring coming from where you stemmed. And so I just wanted to ask, can you delve deeper into what pre-med, specifically molecular and cellular biology, is like at Harvard, where you go every day?
Yeah, so I really enjoy majoring in molecular and cellular biology at Harvard. I definitely think Harvard has a lot of options whenever it comes to classes. For example, for molecular and cellular biology, you can explore a bunch of different things. I'm currently taking a cancer biology class, but there's also tons of other classes like integrative biology classes. Like if you want to look more so into like evolutionary biology classes, there's also that as well. So I think Harvard definitely provides a lot of opportunities for you to explore your niche interests within the biology field. For my average day, what that looks like, that definitely would look like waking up. I do have a organic chemistry class 3 times a week at 9 a.m. And then I have my cancer biology class after that. And then I am taking a statistics class and then also a humanities based class to kind of complement my STEM heavy schedule. And then, other than lectures, we have labs every week. We also have discussion sections. And then, of course, office hours, which students at Harvard will usually attend in order to work on the homework, just because the homework is pretty difficult, I would say. So definitely, like, I think navigating education at Harvard, you have to be collaborative about it, seek help, ask questions, because it really forces you to think and learn.
That's incredible. Actually, just to follow up on what you just said, the three of us took the AP Stats class at our school, and our school is known for a very hard AP Stats class
Mhm.
because our school does well in like stats competitions. So I guess kind of a personal question. What do you think of stats, like personally? Like, what's your take on stats?
I would say stats at Harvard is very difficult. Our stat 110 class is probably the most difficult statistics class in the entire country, I would say. Like it is like I cannot describe to you how difficult it is. Like if you talk to students at Harvard, I'm pretty sure like the average score for exams is like a 40. And that's for students that like study like 40 hours a week. So I definitely would say it's difficult, but that's because Harvard um really wants to apply what you're learning and challenge you to think about like how do I take something from a textbook and the curriculum and really apply it to real life. So in that sense, it's difficult, but at the same time, almost like I would say all of the classes at Harvard are very supportive in terms of the teaching staff. They really want you to learn. Also, the students themselves are very collaborative. I think in contrast to what a lot of people think that Harvard is very competitive, but I would say it's more collaborative.
Would you say organic chem is harder or stats at Harvard?
I think both are pretty hard in different ways, I would say. I think I think maybe the stats class is slightly like stat 110 is definitely slightly harder than organic chemistry in the sense that I think organic chemistry has more resources and approaches their learning like slightly slower than stat 110 does.
Very interesting. So, our next question is, what are some internships you've had, and how would you guide girls to kind of get those opportunities and achieve those things?
Yeah, so I would say whenever I was in high school, I definitely came from a place where we didn't have a lot of internship and science opportunities. And so that was definitely very hard navigating. And this was also during COVID-19. So everything that I was searching for was also virtual. So for me, the internships I had during high school, I worked with a mentor at Arizona State University to build a project centered around bilirubin and also liver cancer. And then besides that, I also worked with a professor from Rice University to tackle antibiotic resistance. So those were my two main things I would say during high school. And I would say to help other girls in this field gain these opportunities, especially if you come from a place that doesn't have resources, I would definitely look online because there's so many programs out there that are free and they are just not as known. For example, like RSI is a very known program, but there's a lot of programs even locally at your local community colleges that you might be interested in and might be taking high school students, or if you're an undergraduate, they'll be taking undergraduates. So I would definitely say cold email. It can be a little bit it can be a little bit hard to navigate cold emailing, but if you email enough people, I am sure that at least one of them will respond, and if they don't accept you, they'll at least direct you into the right direction to find an internship.
That's some very good advice, which I'm pretty sure will help our viewers a lot. So, can you tell us about your cancer research at MD Anderson Cancer Center?
Yeah, so I'll actually start that off with like why did I choose MD Anderson Cancer Center? The reason why is because MD Anderson Cancer Center was the last place that my mom had received chemo before she passed away. So MD Anderson Cancer Center held a very special place in my heart, and I knew that I would want to come back and work there eventually. So this past year, I applied for like an internship student research position there. And fortunately, I was accepted. And so during the summer, I worked full time and I worked on a cancer project involving protein interactions, specifically tackling the KRAS RAF protein interaction, which is a very popular, not popular, but very known cancer inducing signaling pathway. And so mainly we were just working on how to detect that. And by doing that, using like fluorescence, we were able to develop a device that would allow us to monitor KRAS RAF interaction in real time, which has a lot of implications for developing tools in order to really kind of shut off that pathway. And as a result, also minimize cancer proliferation.
That's so amazing and so cool that you had the opportunity to do research in something that you're interested in. And so I did want to ask, we discussed the medical side of your life and the journey toward that, but you also have a business. So, what did the beginning stages of the Ultimate Ivy League Guide look like, and how did you get the idea to start the business?
Yeah, so I would say before I even started the business, the year before that, I was already helping students a lot with the college admissions process. It definitely held a special place in my heart, coming from an area where there's not a lot of resources for college admissions available. I knew I wanted to help other students who were in the same place as me navigate the college admission system. So after I spent some time helping them and I was able to help them get into their dream schools, whether that was like in-state schools and also Ivy Leagues and Ivy League plus schools as well, I realized that, okay, there's knowledge that I have, and I want to be able to provide this to other people that aren't just in my local area. And so the first thing I did was I kind of consolidated my knowledge into a simple book. I mainly just started with college essays at first, and I put that online and I made a video about it and I posted it on social media, and for some reason it went viral on TikTok and Instagram, and I think that was the start of it. I would say that my approach to business was not as traditional as other people's. Other people, they definitely had like a brainstorming stage, like an investment stage, but I didn't really have that. I was really kind of navigating the business journey while I was doing it as well. And so as I was doing that, just growing my community, growing my audience, I definitely took feedback from a lot of my audience members. And so I created new books, whether that was like SAT handbooks or interview guides. And then alongside that, I also opened up revision services as well. And these became very popular, especially during this past semester, whenever we had the college admissions cycle. And yeah, I think the starting stage was definitely a bit difficult because I would say I was like also navigating it as well. I was new to the business sphere, but I definitely think like little by little just learning um it has come to where it is now. And it's obviously like while it has achieved a lot, it still has a lot more to go.
That's incredible. As like someone who's very interested in pursuing kind of the entrepreneurial path, seeing your journey is like very inspiring because you've done so much at such a young age that seeing you is like we can do that too, you know, like it's very inspirational. And our next question is like, what are some challenges that you faced starting off the Ultimate Ivy League Guide, and how did you overcome them, and how would you recommend other people who might be facing the same challenges to overcome?
I think one of the big challenges I faced whenever I first started my business is that because I was doing it solo, it was very hard because I was obviously not equipped with the knowledge of like marketing and website building and all of these like small things that are necessary whenever it comes to business. And so I think for me, um, it was a self-learning process, whether that was just like watching YouTube videos, emailing people. I think how I overcame these challenges is not being afraid to reach out to people and tell them that you don't really know what you're doing. Because I think a lot of the times, whenever young entrepreneurs start a business, we try to kind of portray ourselves in a way that like, oh, we know what we're doing. But at the end of the day, like it is okay to ask for help and also reach out to people because there's so many people out there who are willing to help you and give you knowledge and they want you to succeed. So I think for me, how I overcame these initial challenges of running a business solo was definitely reaching out to people and asking them for advice and not being afraid to kind of show my weaknesses.
That's very inspirational, and I'm pretty sure viewers will find that very helpful. Um, how did you achieve such financial success and stability at only 19 years old? And what advice do you have for young students hoping to do that?
Yeah, so my journey, which with achieving financial stability, definitely was very recent. Like, I think this time, just a year ago, just a little bit over a year ago, I was working like a full-time job. Even senior year of high school, I was working like 3 jobs simultaneously, working at minimum wage, working at fast food industry. And so I think for me, my journey was that I knew that this was not a sustainable lifestyle for me. And I knew I didn't want to, work under the control of someone else, I would say. So I think during my freshman year of college, during winter break, that's whenever I started kind of researching ways to make money besides just working like an hourly wage. And so I definitely discovered a lot of things, whether that was building a digital business, e-commerce, there's so many other things, user generated content creation, Amazon FBA, just a lot of those like small like e-commerce things, like also like affiliate marketing, for example. I started exploring those and finding out which ones I'm really interested in. So I definitely navigated like the e-commerce scene at first. Like I tried like drop shipping, building a business, and I did fail a few times, I would say. But I think through that, I also learned a lot. I learned how to like create a website, etc. So that was able to equip me with the skills that I have since applied to Ultimate Ivy League Guide. So I would say for young students also trying to achieve financial success and stability, whether that's like through working, whether that's through social media, whether that's through building a business, like don't be afraid. I think for me, I was initially afraid to like start a business, make it public, post that video on TikTok, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, I kind of came to terms with like, okay, these are my goals. This is what I want to achieve. And it's okay if people judge me, even if I fail, because it is your own path and it's obviously going to be trial and error. And it's not just like a straight upward road. There will definitely be bumps along the way. So there's definitely lots of opportunities for you to navigate. Um, yeah, whether that's just like content creation, I really recommend like user generated content. That's I also started off with doing that as well. So yeah, I think that's some of the advice I have.
As someone who wants to go into med but also wants to do business, it's really inspirational to like see someone else who's actually in pre-med at Harvard University and also balancing like a work life and being at such a level like you're so young and you have that financial stability, and that's really aspirational because then I could be like, oh, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about being a product marketing associate at Microsoft and how you got that opportunity?
Yeah, so how I actually got this opportunity was during the first and second semester of my freshman year of college. I actually entered this competition for the app GroupMe, which you might be familiar with, and it was a marketing competition. So I entered this competition. I really didn't think much about it actually. It was mainly just a lot of like being a campus ambassador. So I did that throughout my semester, and then by the end of the semester, you have to give a presentation. So I gave my presentation, and I ended up winning the national level for that competition. And since GroupMe is a part of Microsoft, from there I was able to get in contact with like the product director at Microsoft. And then over the summer after that, they reached out to me because they saw that I started getting big on like social media, and they wanted to um kind of, I guess, like they wanted to give me an opportunity to really let my marketing skills shine. And so that's whenever they gave me the opportunity to become a product marketing associate at Microsoft to help them promote their Surface Laptop 9. And so what I did during this opportunity was I, attended meetings. I definitely had to learn all of the different tools that this laptop had, ways to present it to the audience, ways to capture the audience's attention, call to action, funneling the audience, to a sales website. So it was definitely a big learning process, I would say, but it was also very rewarding. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to get that opportunity, especially since it wasn't just like a spontaneous one, but it was a result of almost like a semester long, year long journey.
That's really cool. As like Harshita and Ayushi can tell you, like I love marketing from all aspects. So hearing that story is really cool. I think it's really cool how you're doing that. Our next question is, how do you manage the ultimate Ivy League guide and university life? Because both are incredibly hectic and we just, yeah.
Yeah, so I think for me, I actually like just posted a video on this, but it I really stick to the idea of strategic prioritization. So, what this means is every day I wake up and I usually have like four different priorities I set. So, like whether that's business, that's school, that's my health, whether that's physical or emotional health, and then the last one is social life. So, those are my top four categories that I try to prioritize. But you can't really hit all four categories every day. It's not really reasonable to say like I'm going to study for 8 hours but then also go out with my friends for 8 hours and then also do this for 8 hours. You don't have enough time in a day. So I think for me, what I every day I wake up, I'll usually choose maybe like two of those priorities and I'll make those my top two for that day, and then the next day I might choose two different priorities. So for example, let's say that my friends want to go out to Boston tomorrow night. So I know that tomorrow my social life will definitely be one of my priorities. So that means that I know today I'll probably have to get ahead on my homework and probably study, the more difficult concepts. So then tomorrow I can have that time to, feel more relieved whenever I go out with my friends. So I think for me, strategic prioritization has definitely been a practice implemented throughout my entire life, I would say. And also just like setting a schedule as well. I set both weekly goals and also daily tasks. So every night before I go to bed, I reflect on my next day and I like to plan what I want to do and all the tasks I want to get done. And if you really want to be very meticulous about it, you can even break your day down by the hour. So, like, wake up at this time, and then from like 7 to 9, I want to do this. And so, I think definitely reflecting every night about what I want to get done the next day has also helped me a lot in being productive. And so, what this means is that, like, throughout an entire week or a month, I will hit all four of my priorities. So, like, social life, school, business, and health. But on some days, I may spend more time on like two or three of the priorities, and then on other days, I'll spend more time on the other priorities.
That seems like a very productive schedule. So, do you look up to any inspirational women in STEM and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I definitely do. I actually met these two women recently at Harvard. So one of them is Nadia Okamoto. She is a Harvard alumni, and she runs a business called August, which provides like eco-friendly period products to women. So she kind of combines like both biology, business, and female empowerment all into one. She has been very inspirational to me because I think that's definitely a field I want to look into in the future, something that combines both biology and business. And so she's definitely been an inspiration. She's also a content creator as well. The second one is Bo Lawsworth. She is the founder of Love Wellness. I met her this past semester. She invited me to one of the events she had in Boston, and it was very inspirational getting to know her. Love Wellness is basically a brand that provides like probiotics and a lot of like healthy vegan supplements to women to help them maintain their pH, help them maintain their gut bacteria, things like that. And so that's also like combining biology and business. And that's definitely something that has been inspirational to me as well, because just hearing about how she really, really cares about what we put in our bodies, and she really wants to empower women and destigmatize like, like periods and the menstrual cycle. That's also been a big inspiration to me.
That's really cool. Those are really inspiring stories. Definitely like those are like I want to now look into them and see kind of their work, and that's really cool that you got the opportunity to meet them. Since you've been a part of so many different industries, what skills do you feel are common yet crucial in all of them?
Yeah, so I would definitely say the top three skills that I have identified are communication skills, interpersonal skills, and adaptability. So, communication skills are so important, whether you're in STEM, the humanities, entrepreneurship, the ability to express your ideas clearly, both like verbally and in writing, is really fundamental. And also being able to adapt your communication style to different audiences is really, really important if you want to expand your network, if you want to make connections, and also become a leader in the field that you want to pursue. Interpersonal skills is one of the most important skills, I would say, in any industry. If you build a positive relationship with your colleagues, clients, stakeholders, whoever, this is how you can get ideas. This is how you can meet new people that will inspire you and motivate you to do more. And if you can build a really close community with your team, with leaders, with colleagues, this can only make your work better. And this also motivates the people that you work with as well. And this also just helps you be able to work with diverse groups of people with different personalities, backgrounds, and experiences. And of course, adaptability. You want to have the capacity to adapt to change whenever you experience difficulties. And being able to learn new skills quickly is definitely essential in industries now, since they're very dynamic and evolving.
Yeah, definitely. We heard a lot about communication because it's a common skill, but it's also a really important one. But I don't think we ever really heard about adaptability, and just because every field is growing so intensely all the time. So I guess, yeah, it is an important skill. So we have one last question. Do you have any advice for our uEmpower Butterfly audience?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest advices that I have, and something I learned too this past year, is that don't let the fear of how other people will perceive you, or don't let the fear of how other people will judge you stop you from really pursuing your dreams. Because for me, I am a content creator, I am an entrepreneur, and navigating that field and even starting off that field has been very difficult, especially since there's a big chance that I'm going to fail. And I was very afraid of people kind of seeing my failures. I didn't want people to think that I was a failure or judge me whenever I'm trying to do these things, but like I'm not achieving them. But I think once I let go of that fear and I really just popped all in and I just embraced who I was, that's whenever my brand and my platforms really started growing. And so I would say that, like, no matter what, at the end of the day, don't let someone else's words or your fear of what they think about you stop you from really pursuing your goals and taking that next step.
Thank you so much for giving that advice. I'm pretty sure that's gonna help our audience a lot. And thank you for speaking with us and empowering our You Empower Butterflies. This was such an incredible Connect event.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
all for
having me.
watching. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for having me. It's definitely been a pleasure to talk to you guys and also connect with your audience as well.
Thank you all for watching and stay tuned for so much more.